Hey, it's your girl Jereè Speaks, and welcome to today's episode of Mend the Vow podcast. I am here to help you grow, persevere by sharing my triumphs and my struggles in life, both before and after the vow. A lot of times we choose to eliminate things from our story because we don't want to see the dirtiness inside of us after God has refined us. But we don't want others to see us that way either. So I am here to be your big sister, your auntie, your niece, your friend, anything that I can be to hold your hand as I filter through life in these mini episodes to let you know that you are not alone and that God is here with you. So grab your favorite cup of beverage, whatever that may be. Mine is coffee. Grab a notepad and something to write with, whether it be a pen, pencil, or on your iPad or on your Google Chromebook that has a pen, whatever you are notating from. Make sure that you bring you wisdom, knowledge that is from God so that you can hear everything that God has for you. Let's get into today's episode of Mend the Vow podcast. Hey, it's your girl Jereè Speaks, and welcome to another episode of Mend the Vow podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about my life as a freelancer, amongst other things that I do. And so I have been experiencing some really important stages of growth as a freelancer, whether it be in my marketing or in freelance design or in writing or in just jumping into that space that I love to cultivate. What I love about freelancing is you can have guidelines without having any guidelines. You can see like a new area that opens your creative flow and just hone in on it. But the one thing that I know that I have the freedom to do is knowing without knowing. There are some particular spaces that I journeyed on within me being a freelancer in that time in my life. And so these are the things that I just want to talk about. One, I want to talk about being a freelance writer. I've written for a couple of blogs as a freelance writer. One being The Praying Woman. If you guys don't know who that is, she has a big platform where she features guest bloggers such as myself. I wrote a blog for her back in 2017, and I'll leave the link below in this podcast episode. And I've written for just other people too, like Felicia Morgan. So if you go to FeliciaMorgan.com, while I was still single back in 2020 and also 2021, I wrote a single guest blog post, and I'll leave that in the description too. And even before I did the whole marketing podcast thing and even becoming more aware of who I was when I was a younger adult, I really called myself a freelancer, and I still do in some areas of my life where I just want to have that freedom without, a title being spent on it. And so when I started to gravitate about things that I love poetry. I love writing, and I diversify my writings in different ways. I love to write, and that gives me a sense of peace. And so as a freelance writer, although I'm becoming an author this year, I'm putting out my first book, but in that it's not going to be on the spectrum of freelancing. So I don't use those two components in the same way. I just wanted to break that down. So let me tell you this. What options there are in freelance writing. I'm going to bring up just the description first so you can have a better understanding of what that is. And so we're just going to talk about certain things that you need to know and then other things that you might already know. And so, let's just get into that really quick so that you guys can know, okay, how to look for these things. So the breakdown if you want a career in freelance. I know I'm talking about myself, but I'm just giving you, if you guys want an option to go into this industry. So a freelance writing is a practice of writing for money while working on one's own and not being employed by a company or organization. Freelance writers produce whatever written text is needed by their client, either working from home or at a rented office space. So that whole description encompass literally the things that you can do as a freelance person. It doesn't just have a dimension in writing. You could be a freelance engineer and not have like a trade in it, right? Or go to school from it. You just picked up the skills in life and you just want to hone yourself as a freelance person. You can be a freelance life coach without having the certification. You could be a freelance anything as long as you have the skills to build that. So when I was first starting off in my design, right, I caught myself a freelancer and I was like, I'm a freelance graphic designer. I'm a freelance this, I'm a freelance that. And I didn't go buck wild with it or everything. I love the freedom in that title. But then I had to start defining myself in certain areas in my career when I was younger. And I couldn't call everything freelance. I couldn't call everything this. And I had to really define, okay, what space do I want to be creative in that freelance journey? And so what I began to do is writing. Writing is a particular thing where people will, either seek you out to say, hey, I would love to feature you on my blog post. And so with that, forgive me, I'm still coming over this stupid cough from this cold from the last episode. So in that regard, I had somebody, it's an organization, it's called Rip the Stigma. And it's a really, really good organization. And I wrote about mental health and then just my differences of how I strengthened my mental health over the years. Because, depression really took a toll on my life at one point. And so I did a freelance guest post on that. And I'll link that in the bio as well. And with those things, it literally helped me learn different ways and different areas I can express myself and that I can really be true to that space in my life. Now, I could also pull from different directions. I am a freelance interior designer, right? I spoke about that in the last episode. I don't have no formal training, but I have an eye for design. If you guys go to my Instagram, Men the Vow, it's my marketing social media handle. You guys will see, if you guys go to my reels, you guys will literally see how I design my office space, my cloffice, and all these different things. So when you are multi-talented, as such as I am, and you find yourself having all these skills and don't know where to put them, you put them in different spaces, and all of the time they're not going to come off the shelf. And so when I am wanting to be in a different space, I use my own creative muse. I love photography. I'm a freelance photographer. All the pictures that I do for my clients, I'll do a spread for them. If I am doing a photo shoot, right? I have an account, and this is some gems I want to drop for the ones that are looking to get inside of the freelance category without, wanting to just place a certain title on what they do. If you're a freelancer in anything that has to do with photography, I want to just give you my story on this. So I partner with Groupon, right? When I still lived in California back in 2017, 2018. And I got an account with them. And I said, I want to take my photography to the next level. And I started to promote myself. And I started getting clients that way too. Because anytime that you hone in on something and you're very proficient in it, you want to make sure that you have a platform to add it to. You want to make sure that you are doing the necessary things so that your skill can gain traction. So I was reminded that I still have a love and a need in that space, all by clicking on an email. I didn't forget the account that I had with Groupon and the partnership. I just didn't give any substance of time to it. And so when I received an email, it was kind of like a, hey, how are you? You know, we have this going on, and we have ways to really give this space of photography more of a refreshing. And I said, oh, okay. And though I still have it based in Mississippi, because I did do it in California, and then I moved to Mississippi to care for my mom before she passed away. And so I said, okay, well, now I'm currently living with my husband in Chicago. And I said, I need to bring it out here, because a lot of people, what I'm learning is, and this is a new venture in this area for me, what I'm looking at is a lot of people that are going in to job interviews, right, don't have a professional picture. And you guys can use this too. I'm giving you free game. If you're a photographer, this can be a new level of services for you. A lot of people don't have headshots, right? And a lot of people don't have social media pictures to put on their professional networking platforms. And so the cost of a regular headshot goes from anywhere from $250 to $350. But to cut corners and also to give your new space, some more income, and also don't break the bank with others, because we're in inflation, and you also want to serve your company while not giving anything away for free. I have put together a small package for people that want to still be professional without breaking the bank. And it's just going to be when the weather gets good, because right now we're in our winter season. I want to do like a day of photography at an office, or potentially my office space, or a library that you can rent out, or somewhere professional that they can feel comfortable with, so that they can have a clean headshot, to really thrive in whatever they're going after. And so those are just the many ways that you can add services. You got to start looking at what opportunities there are for freelancers, and whatever capacity that you bring your services to the table. So one, with writing, if you love writing, I would look into not being a guest blogger, because sometimes that don't bring in a good income, but I would look at magazines that need someone. I would look at a bigger spectrum of really probably becoming a freelance intern for someone, with having an option to get paid. Because most times when people look at freelance internship, because that's the thing, some people think it doesn't come with a feature to get paid. And I say a feature because when you are interning, you're just a key component of a feature. It may be like a 6 months or a 9-month intern, or it could be a 2-year intern without pay. But you have to put in your resume, hey, I'm a freelance intern that really wants to intern for your company, but with compensation. You got to be very aware of your voice. And so with that, there's a space that is needed for all freelancers. Right now we have this new thing, or it's not that new, but that creators and influencers are, making a big impact, but so can freelancers. That's what they are. Creatives are in the category of freelancers, because they get contracts and you're contracted out. And this is the other thing that I want to talk about, what's so important about being a freelancer. Have your contracts ready. Even if you have to go to like Rocket Lawyer or rocketlawyer.com, they provide already put together good contracts for freelancers. Or if you have to go to Document Depot, I believe, .com, it's so important to get these things. And I'm going to tell you what else is important of, being a freelancer. Get a DocuSign account. Because a lot of times when people are ready to work with you, you need that signature. You don't always have time to go get things notarized or things printed. It's good to have all of your stuff printed, but for your digital side, it's always a must that you have your stuff in place. Make sure that you have things looked over. Make sure that you have everything facilitated on your end, so that when people are looking for you, that you have things. Another good thing, platform. I'm going to go into platforms right now, and I'm giving you guys a lot of meat right now. Another thing for freelancers is, if you don't have the time or the space or the money to commit to a platform. Patreon is a very, very good platform to have. One, you don't have to pay for a domain if you don't want to. Two, you don't have to pay for somebody to design it. Everything is put together. All you do is add your content. And you can have up to 5 different tiers for payment that people can come and learn from you. So if you're a creative and you're giving a class, you can drop in live audio and live video. And for the people that are supporting you, that are paying for that, they can see that. So that's just another way to make money as a freelancer. Also, if you are a freelance gamer, such as I am about to get really heavy into getting back in my freelance gaming, not just to do it for pleasure, but to make money. So the things that I am ready to level up in is purchasing a PS5. Why? Because that is going to bring more streams of income into my freelance life. Now, I may not do it all the time, but when I have downtime, I am going to set up a space in my office or at home where I can have that tool to have my camera ready and also to produce as a freelance gamer. There's so much that you can do. You can also be, just in a market to where if something is not serving your skill, create that market. If you're saying, well, I am a freelance market and I do such and such, but there's not a big market out there for me, pound the pavement, do the research, see what's out there and see how you can work in it and not against it. See what level that you can bring that will satisfy your audience and build on that. And most of the time when you build on that, build on it with perseverance, with intent, and you will see results. So I pray that this episode of Men the Vow podcast has really helped you get to the next stage of your freelance journey and that you will literally do great, great things in 2023 and beyond. I love you. Continue to let the Lord stretch you, and I will see you on the next episode of Men the Vow podcast. God bless you guys.